Hey folks, welcome back to the Kentucky Hot Wheels video series. It's a cold, early January day here in Kentucky, and I want to go ahead and start planning out our next project for the Jeep. I hope everybody had a very nice holiday season, but I'm ready for some warm spring weather. It's not horrible today. It's probably 40 degrees, so it could be worse. So anyhow, in this project, we're going to go ahead and install a new Badland Apex 12,000 pound winch on our newer Gladiator. This is a 2023 Gladiator. If you've followed me for any time or watched my previous videos, you know we've already done this before on our 2020 Gladiator actually it's been a few years ago now. That Gladiator had a aftermarket OEM style steel bumper on it. It was one of them Chinese knockoffs that they sell on Amazon, and it actually came with its own winch plate and everything. And to be honest, the install was horrible. It took us about 12 hours. Most of that time I was trying to do it by myself, and I had to wait for my son to get home from work to kind of help out. But it did install, and it looked fine. No issues at all with the winch. The winch was fine, but the bumper was crap, to be honest with you. It looked good as far as trying to look like the OEM steel bumper, but the finish on it was horrible. I was always chasing rust on that thing. So if you go that route with the Chinese knockoff, take the time, strip it, and have it re-powder coated or painted. If not, you're going to be chasing rust forever. But anyhow, this Gladiator has the OEM steel bumper and everything, so I don't expect the install, some of the issues I had with the previous install to come up this time. We're going with the Badland Apex from Harbor Freight again, the 12,000 pound winch with the synthetic rope, because I had no issues with the previous winch at all. Worked great. I didn't use it all that much, to be honest with you, but it was there if I needed it. And the times I did need it, it was great. For the winch plate, I was looking at the Mopar winch plate, and honestly, for the price, I just think it's priced too much. There are a lot of alternatives out there, a lot cheaper and just as good. I was looking hard at the Grimm one-piece winch plate. That came highly recommended from a lot of people on different forums and Facebook groups. But the only issue with those, they're hard to find. They're always out of stock, which says something about the product, I guess. They're really good. But I didn't want to wait. I wanted to go ahead and get this project started and have it done as soon as I can. So after doing a lot of research, what I decided to go with was this RockJock winch plate. Now I've already opened it. Oh, yeah, I'm rolling around in my chair, sorry. I've already opened it because FedEx had done a number on the box just to confirm that all the parts were there, and they seem to be. This got very good reviews as well. It's not quite as simple as maybe the Grimm winch plate, but it's only got 4 bolts, and that's all you got to do with. It does mount behind the bumper mount, so you don't have to worry about any kind of spacing when you put your skid plate or back on and stuff like that. Got very good reviews. It actually got a 5-star review out of 273 reviews. And you know me, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I judge things on the way they're packaged, and this was packaged very, very well. The only issue I had, again, FedEx had screwed the box up a little bit during shipping. No big deal. But the powder coating looks good on it. I'll take a closer look at it when we actually remove it from the box and get ready to install it. But I don't want to blab too much longer. This is just the beginning. I'm not going to do it today because it's cold and I don't want to be outside doing this. But we've got everything we need to get the project started. if I run, I'm probably not going to do as much of a detailed install because I've already done that, and there are a kabillion videos out there of people installing winches. Not a whole lot using the RockJock skid plate. So I'll probably go into a little bit more detail installing it, but it comes with a really good instructions video. There's a couple videos on their website that will explain the install, and it just looks like a really solid winch plate. So far I'm happy with everything. I waited around. I was going to do this in the fall, and I was kind of waiting around for the Apex winch to go on sale at Harbor Freight, and 2 days before Christmas it actually dropped down to like $365. So my wife actually ran up there and picked one up for me. So we're anxious to get started on this. Hopefully it'll be a little easier than the previous ones. I'll link the previous install of the winch on the aftermarket OEM style bumper below in the description. Like I said, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't easy, and a lot of cussing was involved. But I think this one's going to go a whole lot smoother since I have the OEM winch plate, or the OEM steel bumper on this Gladiator. So anyhow, when it warms up a little bit and we have a nice day or a nice weekend, I'll bring you guys back and we'll get this installed. Till then, I'll talk to you guys later. Hey folks, so as you can see outside, it looks like the sun's out, but it's actually been raining all day. Let's see, we're on the 9th day of January 2026, and it's actually warm here in Kentucky right now. I think the temps got up into the late 60s today. So it's a Friday, and even though it's supposed to rain later today and tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and start this project. I've got other things to do, so I want to get it out of the way. What I've decided to do, as I mentioned earlier or before, this isn't going to be an in-depth how-to, because I've already done that, and there are a million other videos out on YouTube already explaining how to install a winch with a factory bumper. What I will do is I'll do this in segments. I'll show you or tell you what I'm going to do. I'll go ahead and do it off camera, and if I run into any surprises or issues that you may run into doing the same thing, then I'll let you know and discuss that a little bit. I'll probably do a little bit more detail with the winch plate install, because I haven't really seen too many, or actually any at all, any videos with somebody using this RockJock plate, winch plate. Like I said, it comes with very clear instructions. It looks beefy. It was packaged well. It looks like a good product. So we're going to give it a try. And again, if I run into any issues, I'll be sure to let you know. So I'm going to get a couple things settled, but I'll go ahead and tell you first what I'm getting ready to do. So what we're getting ready to do first, and I'm sorry if the video is dark, I had to bring what I could of the Jeep into the garage because it is going to rain. We're going to remove this plate here. Just got these two push pins on each side. This has a name. I can't remember what the name is. I do mention it in my previous winch install video. So if you really need to know what it is, you can look there for answers. Next, I'll have to remove the bull bar with the lights. I did put I'm pretty sure I put a quick connect on these lights. If not, I should be able just to take this and set it aside, actually. It's not going to be in the way. After I remove the bull bar and these lights, I'll disconnect the light plug here for the fog lights. And that should take us down to the bare bumper, and then I'll bring you guys back for the next steps. So just a few items here to get started on, and then I'll bring you guys back. See you in a bit. Okay, so I got this spacer plate out here. I swear I wish I could remember what it was called, but I can't. But I did mention it in my previous winch install. So like I said, if you really want to know what it is, you can go back and look. This one is different on the Rubicon than it is like an Overland or a Sport. So these are different on each model. Now we won't be reusing this one, of course, because the winch will be in here. But it's good to know if you need one, what it's called. You're gonna have to excuse the mess in here too. We're still putting away Christmas decorations. All right, so like I said, I went ahead and unplugged the lights for the fog lights. It's right here, if you didn't see earlier. Like I said, I'm sorry if it's dark. I don't have the best lighting in here right now. I thought I'd put a quick connect on the bull bar, as you can see, but I didn't for the lights. So I took the 4 bolts out of it, and I'm just going to set it over here on the tire out of the way. I had plenty of slack in my wiring, so no big deal there. Okay, no issues, nothing surprising there, easy to take off. The next thing I'm going to do is take the skid plate off down here. You got 2 bolts in the back there and a few up here in the front. I can't remember, maybe 5. They're either 13 or 15 millimeter. I think 13, but I'm not sure. To get the skid plate off, we'll take the skid plate off and we'll take this panel out here with these screws here. We will not be using this again either, of course, because that's where the winch is going to go. Now, you're going to be left with some holes, of course, in your bumper where this bolts up to. Now, the RockJock winch plate supposedly comes with covers that you can put into these holes that are left, which this one will be cut. These 2 here will be covered by the bull bar, so it won't matter. So these 3 here, right, there'll be holes in there where you're not using them. And I'm sure it said that these came with, yeah, it shows them here in the instructions that you can just push them in the hole to cover it. What I'll probably do though is, since this is the same size bolts I took out to get the bull bar off, I've got these nuts here that fit these. So I'll probably just use the nuts or the bolts that was on it to fill in the holes. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But anyhow, that's an option. So like I said, next we're going to remove the skid plate and we're going to remove this plate right here. And then after that, it's just a matter of removing the 4 nuts on the back of the bumper, and we'll be ready to remove the bumper. So let me get the skid plate off, this plate here, and I'll bring you guys back in a bit. Okay, I got the 7 bolts out for the skid plate, and they are 13 millimeter. If you have a pneumatic ratchet or electric ratchet, it makes it a little bit easier, but definitely not a have to. Okay, so that's everything on the bumper we need to remove for now, except this plate here for the license plate. I'll actually probably take it off too before I take the bumper off. So I'm going to do that next. I'll take this off here, and then we have these 18 millimeter nuts here. Got 2 here, 2 on the other side, 2 here, and 2 on the other side. So altogether we got 8. So I'm going to take this plate off here. I kind of missed my Jurassic Park plate, but oh well. Take this plastic plate off here and remove the 8 bolts and then pull the bumper off. Okay, I'll bring you guys back in a sec. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the bumper off. It helps if you have a decent impact and a deep 18 millimeter socket. All in all, everything so far that I've taken off gathering tools, taking a second to do a quick clip on the camera here. I'm probably 30 minutes into the whole project. So as you can see, it's not hard. There's nothing mind-boggling about it. Just take your time, watch what you're doing, and it's no big deal. So I'm going to take me a little break, give me a bite to eat, and then we're going to start installing the winch plate. Now I'm going to include these instructions in the description, or I'll put them somewhere. I'll leave you a link to these instructions in the description. They are very detailed. They've got it broken down to, Lord, I don't know how many steps, 50 some steps. They've got it broken down to. And again, if you have the right tools, 63 steps, sorry. If you have the right tools, it's not hard. And an extra hand would be nice every once in a while, but you don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to get the winch plate out and get everything set up to get it installed. See you in a bit. Okay, so I got the winch plate unboxed, ready to install. And as you can see, this is it. Winch plate, 2 side mounts, now, and the fairlead plate. Now, one thing I did like about this one is where it mounts behind the bumper mount. So it's not going to mess with your alignment of your skid plate or anything like that. So, like I said, I'll leave a link to this plate so you can look at all the steps. They really do have it broken down so like a 3-year-old could do this. So, shouldn't be a big deal. And again, it looks to be very well made. 1/4 inch plate. Comes with the only bolt you use right there. Those 4 there. And it does have those little plastic caps right there, if you want to use them to fill in the holes of the bumper where the one plate was. So, all right, anyhow, I'm going to get started on this. I'll probably do a couple steps and then bring you back and show you what I've done. See you in a bit. Okay, so the winch plate is installed, and honestly, it took 10 minutes. Basically, all you're going to do is remove the factory side supports here, which are there. You will not be reusing those. You'll be using the ones that come with the kit. The whole time you want to make sure that, and again, this is better explained in the instructions for the plate, is you keep these holes here lined up. So you don't want to tighten everything up at once. You kind of put it in there loose, get the plate secure, and then secure these. And as you can see, the holes line up perfectly. And like I said before, one reason I like this one and went with it is because they mount behind the bumper plate, the bumper mount, instead of in front of it. So it's not going to mess with the fitment of your skid plate. All right, so next, I guess I need to go ahead and get the winch unboxed and get it set up here on my work table, get this cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll bring you guys back in just a little bit. So far, like I said, 10 minutes, it was installed. Okay, I'll bring you guys back in a bit. I forgot to mention, these are the little inserts for the holes on the bumper with the one plate mounted. They look pretty decent, I guess. I don't know if I'll use these or still put the original screws back in it just to fill it in, make it look more complete. As long as the screws don't interfere with the placement of the winch, I'll probably use the screws. But if you don't want to, you can use these inserts because they do look decent. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so I got the winch unboxed and I'm getting ready to prep it for installation. Now, my previous Gladiator, I've used this winch so it should be no big surprises or anything. Comes with everything you need. Some of the stuff I probably won't use. I probably won't use the battery cutoff switch, but everything else you need is here. Wireless remote, cable if you want to use it for the remote, hook. So anyhow, it's going to take a little bit of prep. I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to install. One thing, I learned this on the last one. So, where are they at? These nuts here that go into the base of the winch, you screw up from the bottom, put your little silicone on those when you put them in the slots. That way they won't fall out on you when you're trying to install it. Okay, I'll get this prepped and I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the winch mounted. No issues, it's straightforward. I mean, all winches pretty much mount the same way. One benefit is the 2024 and higher grill gives you a lot more room right here to get your cables to where you want them. I've got to wire tie these before I put the bumper back on, but I've already got the cables ran up to where I want them. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to install the switch from the battery to the winch. I may have to think about that tonight. I'm undecided. But again, the whole install of the winch took maybe a half hour. I did it by myself, except when I picked it up to set it on the plate, I had my son hold the cables out so they wouldn't get in the way. And that's it. You can do this by yourself, but it helps to have an extra hand. Bolts from the bottom through the plate to the winch went in no issues. Very straightforward. The idea, like I mentioned earlier, if you get you a little silicone and put in the slot where the nuts go, little square nuts, it's a lifesaver. That keeps them from moving around. So got it first try, no problem. So next, I guess I'll go ahead and put the bumper back on and get it squared away. And the only thing that will leave me, I've got to put the Fairlead plate back on the bumper, and this, so that shouldn't be no big deal. I'll clear this off and bring my bumper up here so I've got room to work, and then I'll go ahead and get the bumper back on, get all the electrical hooked back up for the lights, put the bull bar back on, and then we'll go from there. So I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to do the next step. So far, I've got, again, maybe 2 hours into the whole project so far, and that's me doing it by myself, taking a break to get a quick bite to eat, and filming these segments. So when I'm done, if y'all have any questions so far, leave them in the comments. I'll certainly respond to them. I hope more people go with this RockJock winch plate, because it is rock solid, easy to install, and so far I've had no issues. Okay, I'll bring you guys back in a bit. Okay, so I got the bumper semi-installed. I actually had it on there, and then I remembered I forgot to put these screws in, so I take it back out. Luckily my wife was here to help get the rope cable through the Fairlead plate and everything. So I've only got the outside bolts on the bumper just to kind of hold it in place for now. I'm going to go ahead and get all 8 back on there and get the bull bar put back on there. And that's probably going to be it for this evening. I've already had a full day of work and I'm kind of tired. I just wanted to take advantage of this awesome warm weather. 7 degrees in January is okay with me. So anyhow, the only thing that'll leave me to do is install the power switch if I decide to do so. The only thing is, you're really limited with room in here. Not a lot of room, especially since I put a vol switch right there. So I don't know. Still undetermined. I'd like to put it there if I could. But you can see the liner here actually rubs on top of that. So I don't know. I'll have to give it some thought. But I'll go ahead and get this tidied up. And I'll bring you guys back one more time this evening. And then we'll continue with tomorrow with getting everything wired up. Again, I have not run into any issue where it would be a deal breaker to recommend this setup to anybody else. You know, I've got, like, again, a total of maybe a little over 3 hours in it, doing it by myself, except for getting the bumper in there. The key thing is, on these the new side brackets that come with the winch plate, make sure your holes are lined up to get the bumper back on. It'll save you a lot of heartache. Okay, I'm going to tidy this up, and I'll bring you guys back before I call it quits for today. See you in a bit. Okay, so I had to take a little time out for some dinner. So I come back and finished getting the bull bar back on, the bumper, all the nuts for the bumper mount torqued down, and went ahead and wired it straight to the battery. I'm still undecided if I'm going to put the cutoff switch on it or not. I probably will. I'm just kind of running out of time tonight. So I already gave it a test. Got everything connected. One thing with these Badland winches, the Apex, of course, if you've done any research, you know you have a problem with the free spool handle not clearing the bumper. Well, with this mount, the RockJock Winch mount, it actually does clear the bumper. It does not clear the bull bar though. So no big deal. But if you're considering getting the RockJock mount and using the OEM steel bumper, the handle on the Badland Apex winch will clear the bumper. Again, I didn't run into any. This was really straightforward. Took my time and did not get in a rush to get this done. Hardest part for me was getting the skid plate back on, because I got a bum shoulder and it was really hurting. So I had a hard time lifting it into place. But luckily I got a floor jack and used it to get the winch or the skid plate back where it needs to be. Again, the only thing I have left to do is to decide whether or not I'm going to put the cutoff switch for the power to the winch. And if I do, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll probably do it off camera. It's not worth really recording. Everybody should know how to do that. Anyhow, we're going to call this quits. We're going to call it complete. Nice evening project here with great weather in January. Hard to believe. And if y'all have any questions about the winch plate or the winch, feel free to let me know and I'll give you an honest answer. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. We'd certainly appreciate it. Like I said, this wasn't in great detail, but again, there's a million videos out there showing people how to do this. I was just wanting to highlight any issues you may run into if you take the same route. If you're halfway mechanically inclined, this is an easy project. Shouldn't cause you any problems. Okay, till next time, I'll talk to you guys later.